Hello friends, this is Anshu and welcome back to my channel Online Educator. In my previous video, I have already discussed the components of human digestive system and the oral cavity. Now today I will be discussing the other regions or parts of the alimentary canal. Okay, now when we move further, the oral cavity leads into a short pharynx that acts as a common passage for both food and air. Now here we come up with a new term, that is the pharynx. Now the question is, what is pharynx? Pharynx is a vertical canal-like structure that is about 12 centimeters long and serves as a part of the digestive tract and also as a passageway for the food from oral cavity to the esophagus. The wall of the pharynx has well-developed constrictor muscles which forces the food bolus into esophagus during swallowing. Now as you can see from the diagram that the pharynx has been divided into three main portions, and the nasopharynx are located here. It is the upper part of the pharynx and it has internal nares in the roof and a pair of oval shaped eustachian canals on the sides, and food never enters here. It is the passage for only air. Now the second is the oropharynx. It is the lower part of the pharynx. Here it is the lower part of the pharynx and is the passage for food, that is the bolus. The nasopharynx and oral cavity opens into the oropharynx, which is a common passage for both food and air. The nasopharynx and the oral cavity, here and here. The nasopharynx and the oral cavity both opens into the oropharynx, which is a common passage for food and air. Now the third one is the laryngopharynx. It is the lowermost part of the pharynx. It has two apertures mainly. The first one is the anterior slit like glottis and second one is the posterior gullet. Now let's see this diagram. This is the structure of pharynx. Here is epiglottis. The glottis bears a leaf-like cartilaginous flap called as epiglottis. Epiglottis is here. It is a leaf-like structure. The gullet leads into the esophagus or food pipe. During swallowing, the epiglottis covers the glottis portion just to prevent the entry of the food in it. As you all know that the food pipe, the esophagus and the windpipe, that is the trachea, runs parallelly and opens at the same portion of the pharynx. So the chances of entering the food into the windpipe during swallowing is present there. So to prevent the obstruction, a cartilaginous flap, as I've already mentioned, is present here, that is known as epiglottis. As you can see in the diagram below, this is the structure of the pharynx. Here is the esophagus present behind the trachea, and this is the inferior muscles, constrictor muscles, and this is the laryngopharynx. The vocal cord is present above the trachea and below the epiglottis. Now let's move to the next region, that is the esophagus. The esophagus is about 20 to 25 centimeters long, narrow, muscular, straight tube. It is lined by the stratified squamous epithelium cells that contains the mucus gland. It extends posteriorly, passing through neck behind the trachea and passes through diaphragm and opens into stomach in the abdomen. As you can see from the diagram, it is the esophagus, this is the diaphragm portion and this is the stomach. The esophagus is lined by the stratified squamous epithelium cells, and the esophagus serves to convey the food from pharynx to the stomach by peristalsis. Now again we have come up with a new word, that is the peristalsis or the peristaltic movement. The peristaltic movement or peristalsis means the contraction and the relaxation of the food in the esophagus down the tract forcefully to the stomach. The peristaltic movement helps in pushing the food from the esophagus, from pharynx to the stomach in a force movement. And this movement is totally involuntary. We cannot control this movement because it is totally involuntary. As you can see from the diagram, it is the peristaltic movement. Here the food has entered into the esophagus and the muscle is relaxed over here and the food is entering here. Now the next step, the muscles are contracted. So here the muscles are again relaxed. This is the ball of food and this is the relaxed muscle and it is the contracted muscles. Now in this way, in this motion, in this movement, the food balls or the food that we eat enters into our stomach. And this is a very important movement. The esophagus leads into a J-shaped bag-like structure that is called a stomach. Stomach is a large organ lying just under the diaphragm and on the left side of the abdominal cavity. Stomach is about 30 centimeters long and 15 centimeters wide. The lining of the stomach contains many gastric glands that secretes gastric juices which contains hydrochloric acids and various enzymes. And a muscular sphincter known as the gastroesophageal regulates the opening of the esophagus into the stomach. As you can see from the diagram, this is the structure of the stomach and its inner wall lining. This is the stomach and here present is the gastroesophageal sphincter. Here the food is regulated that is coming from the esophagus to the stomach. When we cut a thin slice of a stomach, we get this kind of structure. Now this structure states that serosa, the first layer, the outermost layer of the stomach is known as serosa, and the second layer is the subserosa, and it is followed by the muscle layer of the stomach, and then comes the submucosa layer. In the submucosa layer, all the nerves arises and it is penetrated inside the stomach. Then comes the mucosa layer. It is the innermost layer. As you can see, all the villi-like structure present here. The finger-like projection that are emerging out of the submucosa layer helps in secreting the enzymes and the gastric juices to digest the food. The structure of the stomach, it is divided into mainly two parts. The first one is the cardiac and one is the pyloric portion. The larger cardiac part is where the esophagus opens. As you can see from the diagram, this is a subdivision of stomach. This portion is the cardiac portion. It is the larger portion and it is the part where the esophagus opens. And here is where the cardiac notch is present, and this portion is the gastroesophageal portion, the sphincter present here. Now the cardiac portion is again subdivided into two portions, the fundus and the body. The fundus is the upper dome-shaped part situated above the level of cardiac orifice. This is the cardiac orifice and it is the uppermost portion and it is the mainly dome-shaped structure. Then second comes is the body. It lies between the fundus and the pyloric antrum. Then we move to the pyloric portion, the second portion. The pyloric portion is a smaller part and it opens into the first portion of the intestine. It is again subdivided into two portions, that is the pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal. The pyloric antrum is about 7.5 centimeters long and makes the right narrow lower portion of the stomach. It is very narrow and it is present on the right side and it's the lower portion and it makes the lower portion of the stomach. Then comes the pyloric canal. The pyloric canal follows the pyloric antrum. The pyloric canal is about 2.5 centimeters long. It's again narrow and tubular and it terminating at right end called the pylorus. This end is known as pylorus. This end is known as pylorus. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I'll see you all in my next video, and if you like my video then please do subscribe to my channel, like and share the video. Thank you all.